On Global TV News Express, Minister of Works David Umahi says first phase of Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road to be ready in May 2023. In business, federal government tasks petroleum engineers on sustainable solutions for oil sector challenges. On the foreign scene, Kyiv comes under heavy Russian drone attack. And in sports, Chelsea eyes Real Madrid star Vinicius Jr. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the News Express on Global Television. We're coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. The Nigerian Correctional Service, NCOs, has denied reports that juvenile and bad governance protest defendants were detained in adult custodial facilities at the Kuje Custodial Center in Abuja. Following the arraignment of 76 individuals in connection with the protest, Justice Obiora Egwatu ordered that underage defendants be placed in a Buster facility, while adults would be remanded in standard cells until their bail conditions were met. Spokesman of the Correctional Service, Umar Abubakar, in a statement, clarified that reports of the service detaining the minors in adult facilities were misleading and assured that the service adheres to strict standards when managing juvenile offenders. Minister of Works David Umahi has stated that the first phase of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway will be ready for commissioning by May 29, 2025. The Minister of Works stated this when he led the Federal Ministry of Works, members of House of Representatives, and the Senate House Committee on Works to inspect some sections of the ongoing Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road project stretching along 8 states. Umahi, who noted that the President had paid full compensation to affected property owners along the federal right of way before the demolition of property took place, reiterated the commitment of the administration of President Bola Tinubu to ensuring the massive rehabilitation and completion of abandoned road projects across the 36 states of the Federation. Reports have shown that at least 33.1 million people in 26 states and the Federal Capital Territory will face a food and nutrition crisis between June and August 2025. This projection comes from the CADA Harmonized Report for October released in Abuja. The analysis was conducted by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, the World Food Programme, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, and other partners. According to the analysis, the affected states include Sokoto, Zamfara, Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, Gombe, Taraba, Katsina, Jigawa, Kano, Bauchi, Plateau, Kaduna, Kebbi, Niger, and Benue State. The federal government has released funds to settle outstanding salaries owed to members of the Non-Academic Staff Union of federal universities and pay benefits to retirees under the Nigerian Union of Pensioners Contributory Pension Scheme. This was contained in a statement by the Director, Press and Public Relations, the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Bawa Mokwa. He confirmed that payment to NASU members have commenced, with many already confirming receipt. The National Economic Council, NEC, has expressed reservations over the tax reform bill forwarded by President Bola Tinubu to the National Assembly. This was part of the resolutions reached during the National Economic Council meeting, chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Global Television brings you details.
General Musa noted it is unprecedented to have an acting chief of Army Staff when there is a substantive Chief of Army Staff, who unfortunately is indisposed, noting that Major General Oluyede will be acting until the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, decides otherwise.
In the interim, based on the powers conferred on the President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, he has decided and directed and appointed an acting Chief of Army Staff with the full powers and responsibilities of the Chief of Army Staff until the President decides otherwise.
He congratulated the acting Chief of Army Staff on his appointment and implored him not to rest on his laurel in ensuring that he justifies the confidence reposed in him by the President.
You have to note that your selection was based on your vast knowledge of military leadership at all levels, character and competence. You are a member of a larger team of professional soldiers who are saddled with the responsibility of defending the territorial integrity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by land, sea, and air as captured in our Constitution.
In his remark after completion of the signing in of the taking over notes, General Olukayode promised to hold forth as acting Army Chief until the return of Lieutenant General Abiodun Lagbaja, who is the substantive Chief of Army Staff. The acting Chief of Army Staff solicited prayers for Lieutenant General Lagbaja's speedy recovery and safe return to complete the excellent job he started.
Appointment as acting Chief of Army Staff is simply to hold sway while Lieutenant General Lagbaja, member Chief of Army Staff, is a way to enable him to take sufficient time to get necessary medical attention and recuperate. And that I intend to do with the whole of my heart and loyalty to the Constitution.
Until his appointment, acting Chief of Army Staff Olufemi Oluyede served as the 56th commander of the Elite Infantry Corps of the Nigerian Army based in Jaji, Kaduna State. The 56-year-old Oluyede and Lagbaja were classmates and members of the 39th Regular Corps. He was commissioned a second lieutenant in 1992. Effective from 1987, he rose to Major General in September 2020. Samuel Lodi reporting for Global Television News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has said there will be no need to withdraw the tax reform bills from the National Assembly as recommended by the National Economic Council. He argued that with the legislative process takes its course, inputs and necessary changes can be made without withdrawing the bills from the National Assembly. Special Advisor on Information and Strategy to the President, Bayo Onanuga, made this known in a statement, saying that President Tinubu commended the National Economic Council members, especially Vice President Kashim Shettima and the 36 state governors for their advice. This comes as the 36 state governors of the Federation have unilaterally demanded the immediate withdrawal of the National Tax Reforms Bill for more comprehensive consultations, delivering a significant strategic blow to the comprehensive efforts undertaken by Taiwo Oyedele-led Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, has advised state governments to find an alternative to power generation in the country. The minister gave the advice during a one-day working visit to Kano State against the background of the recent blackout in some northern states. Global Television's correspondent Idris Jibrin has details.
Arriving the VIP wing of the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport is the Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu, alongside other top government delegation from the Federal Capital Territory. The visit is to inform the people of Kano State and northern Nigerians in general the cause of the blackout in the region.
The issue of electricity supply is not one that one entity can handle alone. It must be a collaborative effort.
The minister reiterated the determination of the federal government to restore power to the affected states, adding that it has no intention of marginalizing any section of the country over electricity distribution.
Alternative power source, which I also mentioned when I was delivering my speech, that is the way to go. Sincerely, that is the permanent solution to having negative impact of grid disturbances. Just like we had the vandalization of transmission lines, it affected the entire northern states.
Especially the one that we are here, 1 megawatt Bagaja, is just to provide energy security, for the citizen in the state. And the Honorable Minister is also talking about bringing investors that will construct a plant that will give around 100 megawatt.
Receiving the minister at the Kano State Government House, Governor Abba Kabir, represented by his Chief of Staff, Shehu Wadasa Agagi, told the minister that the state government is working very hard to establish independent power project which has already reached 70% completion stage.
The blackout causes significant loss in billions of naira to the industries in the state, also affected the areas of revenue generation, health sector, healthcare sector, and day-to-day activities of the populace.
Kano State and several other northern states have been without electricity for almost 10 days, though only yesterday light was restored to some states in the north, a situation attributed to the activities of bandits around the 300 kV line along Kaduna-Shiroro power distribution axis. From Kano, Idris Jubrin reporting for Global Television News.
The President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo Worldwide, late Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, has been laid to rest in his hometown of Ata Ikeduru in Imo State. The ceremony was attended by dignitaries from across the country, including top government officials, traditional rulers, and prominent Igbo leaders. Imo State correspondent Amarachi Ibe was there for Global Television.
In his sermon, the prelates and metropolitans of all Nigerian Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Henry Ndukuba, urged the family to remain united, just as their father was a symbol of peace.
Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, a distinguished Nigerian, a well-known family man, a lover of the youth, an astute politician, a leader of the people, one who identifies with his people and with Nigeria.
President Bola Tinubu, represented by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, praised Chief Iwuanyanwu as a nationalist and champion of nation building who promoted unity and harmony among diverse communities. He also acknowledged his contribution as a civil engineer whose experimental architectural design were approved by the Federal Ministry of Works.
Present engineer, Iwuanyanwu experimented with flexible pavements and concrete parameters, producing a mixed design of asphaltic concrete. The Nigerian Ministry of Works approved this design.
Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma described Chief Iwuanyanwu as a great leader who believed in a just Nigeria where Igbo people could thrive in peace alongside their fellow citizens. He announced that the newly built Imo International Conference Center will be named after him.
On behalf of the government and people of Imo State, that the new ultra-modern International Conference Center being constructed by Imo State shall henceforth be known as Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu International Conference Center, Owerri.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, represented by Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe, consoled the family and praised late Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu as a shining image who inspired generations.
I urge you, the family and the son, with your siblings, to internalize the timeless philosophy and allow it to guide your lives in honor of your late father.
Other dignitaries in attendance include the APC National Chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, wife of former President Goodluck Jonathan, Dean Patient Jonathan, Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, all former governors of Imo State and their deputies, service chiefs, traditional rulers, among others. It is the hope of the family of Chief Iwuanyanwu and the Igbo nation that the legacies he left behind will linger across generations. From St. Matthew Cathedral, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
The governor of Ondo State, Honorable Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, has announced that a new minimum wage of 73,000 naira for civil servants in the state will be implemented starting this month, November. The governor made this declaration during the 2024 Public Service Week celebration, an event marked with a fitness walk aimed at promoting the health and well-being of public workers. Kike Lomo Okere has details.
Ondo State civil servants, led by labor leaders, walked through part of the state capital before converging at the government house, where they expressed their support for the governor ahead of the November 16 governorship election. In his address to the workers, Governor Ayedatiwa emphasized that the welfare of the civil servants will continue to be a priority of his administration. He says the minimum wage is a testament to his administration's focus on improving the quality of life for the state workforce. The governor added that a committee was set up to work out the implementation structure of the minimum wage, which has been concluded and will be given necessary approval for payment.
What I believe should be done, that these people that we regard as the engine room of any government, they need to be taken care of. They need to be motivated. They need to be trained to be able to do better. Position that I've taken that the civil service as engine room of government should be well taken care of.
Ondo State Head of Service Bayo Philip praised Governor Ayedatiwa for creating a conducive environment for the civil servants in the state. He noted the administration's commitment to prompt salary payment, regular promotions, leave bonus, and consistent disbursement of pension allowance and gratuities.
It's all for us next year. This will challenge us to work more, to be prompt, for us to deliver excellently on our beats, and for us to be very, very patriotic to this government, particularly in area of revenue generation and management.
The state chairman, Trade Union Congress, Comrade Clement Fatuashi, expressed confidence in Governor Ayedatiwa's continued support for civil servants and assured the governor that the civil servants will proudly come out en masse on November 17 to celebrate his victory.
All of those state workers are for you. Sir, call us politicians in Sao. And I don't belong to any government in power that is not doing good for us.
The governor further assures the civil servant that if elected, he will surpass his current achievements, pledging to break his own record by delivering even more for the workforce. The governor further expressed appreciation for the show of solidarity and reminded them of his shared identity as the #1 public servant in the state. From Akure, Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
The chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Professor Mahmood Yakubu, says the commission will undertake a final readiness assessment of its preparations for the November 16th Ondo State governorship election next week. Yakubu disclosed this at the 4th quarterly consultative meeting with media organizations at the commission's headquarters in Abuja, saying that as part of the assessment, the commission would meet with its officials, engage with stakeholders, and interact with security agencies and transport providers. He also says there will be further improvements, particularly in the areas of logistics, for the movement of personnel and materials for both land and riverine locations, for prompt commencement of polls, as well as management of the processes on election day from voting to declaration of results at the Ondo polls. You're watching the News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When News Express returns, federal government tasks petroleum engineers on sustainable solutions for oil sector challenges. Details of this, as well as foreign and sports stories, coming right after this break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the News Express. In business, the federal government has charged petroleum engineers to devise sustainable solutions to critical challenges facing the oil sector, which includes low productivity, oil theft, and pipeline vandalism. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Heineken Lokbobiri, speaking at the annual conference of the Nigerian Institution of Petroleum Engineers in Abuja, emphasized the need for innovative, homegrown strategies to enhance the industry's performance, urging collaboration among industry players to ensure a sustainable future for Nigeria's oil and gas sector. Represented by the Director Upstream Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Kamoru Busari, the minister reiterated the need for sustainable solutions in Nigeria's petroleum sector as he highlighted the importance of balancing economic growth, energy security, and environmental sustainability amid global energy transitions. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has stated that the $25 million African Atlantic Gas Pipeline AAGP, or the Nigeria-Morocco Gas Pipeline Project, is at the stage of land acquisition and resettlement. Group Chief Executive Officer Mele Kyari stated this at Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, interministerial meeting of the Nigeria-Morocco Gas Pipeline NMGP project in Abuja. Kyari, represented by the NNPCL Executive Vice Chairman, Gas and Power, Olaleko Wule, says reasonable progress has been made in the project, which its frontier engineering design phase 2 has now been completed. He added that decisions at the meeting will shape the future of the project and ensure positive impact on the nation's economies and people's lives. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Senator Heineken Lokbobiri, says the era of simply renewing petroleum exploration licenses without development is over in Nigeria. The minister stated this to a distinguished gathering of the Oil Producers Trade Section, a group by the 5 oil giants operating in Nigeria, at the Cross Industry Group CIG meeting in Istanbul, Turkey. This was contained in a statement by his Special Advisor, Media and Communication, Nnaemeka Okafor, issued in Abuja. Lokbobiri called for greater commitment from industry players to support Nigeria's ambitious plan to increase oil production by over 1 million barrels within the next 24 months. On the foreign scene, barely few days to the United States presidential election, Americans living in settlements in the Israeli-occupied West Bank seek Donald Trump's second term, as recent polls show that a majority of Israelis dream of the days when the former president inhabited the White House. Trump prioritized Israel during his previous term, moving the American embassy to Jerusalem, recognizing Israeli sovereignty over the occupied Golan Heights and helping to normalize ties between Israel and several Arab states under the so-called Abraham Accords. Now, many Israelis believe Trump will offer yet more support as the country battles Iran-backed militant groups in Gaza and Lebanon, as well as Iran itself. Well, in sports now, former president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, has identified inadequate maintenance as a major hurdle to sports development in Nigeria. Pinnick stated this while delivering a lecture titled The Challenges of Sports Infrastructure and Maintenance in Nigeria, Prospect for the Podium Performance at the University of Ibadan's Faculty of Education. Pinnick, underscoring the critical role of infrastructure in driving Nigeria's sports success, emphasized the urgent need for improved infrastructure upkeep to support the nation's athletic talent, while lamenting Nigeria's abundance of skilled athletes who lack adequate facilities to refine and showcase their talents. Well, that's it on the News Express, and it came to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. A quick summary at some of our top headlines. Minister of Works David Umahi says first phase of Lagos Calabar Coastal Road to be ready in May 2025. In business, federal government tasked petroleum engineers on sustainable solutions for oil sector challenges. On the foreign scene, Kyiv comes under heavy Russian drone attack. And in sports, Chelsea eyes Real Madrid star Vinicius Jr. That's it on the News Express, and it came to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nightcomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.